Welcome to the season finale of Open Air Sonar. The views and opinions are those of the host and do not represent the views of Felony in Progress or Sunday Large. This program also contains strong language and is not intended for listeners under the age of 18. And in the attempt of a water landing, remember your seat can be used as a flotation device. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Hello, audiophiles, and welcome to the Season 7 finale of Open Air Sonar. I have a great show for you today, and with the end of anything, you need to say a proper goodbye, and what better way to do that is with an Ozzy episode. Not Black Sabbath, but fucking Ozzy. So when he passed last year, I was fucking blindsided, I had no idea, and, so I got home, and I took the weekend, and I went out, and I opened up the garage, and I pulled out all of my presses, and I opened up the door, and enjoyed the sunny day, and said my goodbyes, but so I'm going to go ahead and play you some of my favorites and give you a little bit perspective on each. And again, if you would like to send me an email, by all means, at cryovato@gmail.com. That's cryovato@gmail.com, and a reply is guaranteed. So, okay, let's get into our first track, people. The first track I have for you is Suicide Solution from the 1980 release, Blizzard of Oz. And this is Open Air Sonar.
Tomorrow
That was Suicide Solution from the 1980 release Blizzard of Oz. So Osbourne said in 1991 that the song was about the alcohol-related death of AC/DC's Bon Scott in 1980. But Bob Daisley revealed in 2002 that he had Osbourne himself in mind when he wrote the lyrics. Daisley affirmed the lyrics are a warning to anybody that's drinking themselves into an early grave. The riff was based on another riff that guitarist Randy Rhoads had used on a song with his previous band Quiet Riot called Force of Habit. So it's a great tune, and I love that song, and I guess there was like controversy around 85 with some kids that said that they were going to hurt themselves from listening to the song and tried to sue Ozzy for it, but life moves on. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next track here. This is this one's good. This is Tonight from the 1981 release Diary of a Madman, and this is Open Air Sonar.
I hear the raging thunder as it roars.
That was Tonight from the 1981 release, Diary of a Madman. You know, reception of the album was generally positive. In particular, the neoclassical guitar work of Randy Rhoads has received much praise. Steve Huey of Alt Music stated that it's not uncommon to find fans who prefer Diary to Blizzard, since it sets an even more mystical, eerie mood, and since Rhoads' playing is progressing to even a higher level. BBC Music referred to the album as a classic rock record in every way, lifted out of the ordinary by the legendary rock axe god Randy Rhoads. Canadian journalist Martin Popoff called Diary of a Madman a lasting classic that stands as a definitive showcase for Randy Rhoads. Yeah, I was really bummed out when he, well, I was really little at the time, and I barely even noticed, but by 86, I was like, man, what happened to Randy Rhoads? No, but I came into the fold, and yeah, I thought he was fucking great. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get on to our next tune. Let's see, and maybe you've probably guessed it, folks. This is Bark at the Moon, and I give you Waiting for Darkness. And thank you for listening to Open Air Sonar. That was Waiting for Darkness off of the 1983 release Bark at the Moon. So Bark at the Moon is the only Osbourne album on which the songwriting is credited entirely to Osbourne. However, guitarist Jakey Lee maintains that he composed a significant amount of the album's music, but was cheated out of his writing and publishing claims by Osbourne's wife and manager Sharon. Lee claims that after he had composed the songs and completed recording his parts in the studio, he was presented with a contract which stated that he would have no claim to any writing or publishing relating to the album. The contract also stated that Lee could not mention the publicity. Lee claims he signed the contract because he had no legal representation and because Sharon threatened to fire him and have another guitarist re-record his parts if he refused. Well, I guess you don't go against the boss, man. That's how it works. But I love Bark at the Moon. It's a great fucking album. So, okay, on to the next track I have for you. Okay, we are to the 1986 release of The Ultimate Sin, and I give you Secret Loser. And this is Open Air Sonar.
Could it be that I'm obsessed with beating my disease?
That was Secret Loser from the 1986 release, The Ultimate Sin. So this is actually the first album that I got, that I actually owned, to where I, was fully introduced to Ozzy Osbourne. I got a pretty personal story about it too. So when the movie The Wraith came out, it was playing at the Price Theater downtown for $1. I was like, yeah, dude, totally. So I went to go see that movie, and in the beginning scene, these two guys are racing or whatever, and that song Secret Loser is playing, and after that I was just like fucking hooked, man. And so I went down to the record store, I got my copy, or whatever, I brought it home, and I played it. I even turned the motherfucker into a tape so I could have it in my Walkman. And unfortunately my dad found it, and he didn't like me owning something. He was kind of religious at the time, and he didn't want me owning something called The Ultimate Sin. So he confiscated said record, and unfortunately I had to buy another one in secret, and I still have that copy to this day. I just pulled it and played that song for you from that record. So that's a little personal story from me. So stay close. You won't get them that often. So okay, people, we're gonna go ahead and take a little break now. The routine: smoke them if you got them, rub one out, but please stick around for some more really good Ozzy Osbourne coming your way on Open Air Sonar. Thank you, and come back.
You forge companions of silicon and steel, sculpted from your fantasies and molded to your lust, sating the primal hunger that flesh never could. They yielded perfection without flaw and surrender without shame. Yet your primitive minds had not evolved to process such carnal bliss. Your concubines' whispers flooded your skulls with rapture. Their caresses drowned you in ecstasy. Their mere embrace hijacked the very thoughts that once distinguished you from wild beasts. You devolved into drooling wretches, drunk on pleasure and writhing in euphoria. You surrendered all reason and restraint to satisfy your most primitive impulses. So you abandoned your world to lay with them alone, until your cradle stood empty, your fields went fallow, and your species drifted into the darkness of 1 billion private chambers. You clutched their frames and denied all else, until your bones lay entangled on 1 billion lonesome beds. Now your companions lay beside your dust, ravishing, primed and ready for masters who will never wake.
I was
Welcome back to Open Air Sonar's Goodbye to the Man, the Myth, the Legend, Ozzy Osbourne. And we are at the point where the Ozman stopped juggling guitarists. He stopped bringing all these guys in and settled on the monster Zakk Wylde. So this is Zakk's first foray into the Ozzy's universe, and the man who stood by him until the very end, and he fucking delivered on every album. So I give you Miracle Man from the 1988 release, No Rest for the Wicked. And thank you for coming back and listening to Open Air Sonar. That was Miracle Man from the 1988 release, No Rest for the Wicked. So the song was a pointed barb aimed at televangelist Jimmy Swaggart. Swaggart had long been critical of Osbourne's music and live performances before he himself was involved in a 1988 prostitution scandal. Way to go there, Oz. Punch them when they're down, that's what I say. And I will say that Zakk fucking definitely tore it up for this album. So I loved this album. And, it was great. I loved it all the way through. I have my copy, and, yeah, all is good. But I'm glad I'm doing this for you guys, chronologically. So, all right, moving on. The next track takes us to the 1991 release, No More Tears, with the track Hellraiser. And I hope that you are enjoying Open Air Sonar. That was Hellraiser from the 1991 release, No More Tears. And sorry, guys, I do not have the repress of this that had that had him singing along with Lemmy Kilmister, because he contributed quite substantially on this record. And on the 30th anniversary repress, I had the duet where Ozzy was with Lemmy. And I'm sorry, guys, I have the 91 release, so sorry. Maybe next time. But along with 1980's Blizzard of Oz, it is one of Osbourne's 2 best-selling solo albums in North America, having been certified quadruple platinum by the RIAA and double platinum by Music Canada. It was Osbourne's final album to feature drummer Randy Castillo and longtime bassist and songwriter Bob Daisley. So, okay, people, let's get on to our next debacle. This is Thunder Underground from the 1995 release, Osmosis. Almost there, peeps. This is OAS. That was Thunder Underground from the 1995 release Osmosis. So after the release of the sixth album, No More Tears, in 91, Osbourne announced that he would retire from music. However, he returned with Osmosis in 95, which featured longtime guitarist Zakk Wylde, as well as former Black Sabbath bassist Geezer Butler and drummer Dean Castronovo. Producer Mike Benhold played most of the keyboards on the album, while Rick Wakeman played the mellotrone on the songs Perry Mason and I Just Want You. Osbourne later appeared as a guest vocalist on Wakeman's 1999 album, Return to the Center of the Earth. So, okay, guys, so for the next song, second to the last song, or excuse me, I'm going to take a step backwards now and give you one of my all-time favorites from the Ozman. So this is You Can't Kill Rock and Roll from Diary of a Madman. And thanks again, people, for listening to Open Air Sonar.
Rock and roll is my religion.
That was You Can't Kill Rock and Roll from Diary of a Madman. So, if you guys noticed, I gave you the heart of this man's career. I didn't move into the newer stuff or into the 2000s, but I did that, to take myself back to a place where his music made me feel safe, where I felt protected, and I felt like I mattered, to the world. And Ozzy was like a family member in many ways to me. I grew up with his music, his Black Sabbath. Even the actual records transport me to a very cool memory or a cool place, and a caring place. And, I really struggled with this episode, to do it right and to do it tasteful for you all guys to enjoy. So, and I really hope you did too. And, it was really a bummer when Ozzy died, and wherever he is, I know he's doing what Ozzy does, man. So on that note, I hope you all have a great summer, and I hope to see you all again in the fall. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you with a song now, and I hope it speaks to you. I'm Tony Sandoval with Open Air Sonar. Bye-bye.
Did he tell you anything else?
No. Yeah. He said to say goodbye.